to the conclusion of match number 2, we're now a little bit clearer as to who's going to make it through to the knockout stages and who's going to go home out of the Olympics out in Tokyo. Are your nation still in the mix, or are your nation on the verge of going out? We'll take a look at that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we're taking a look at match number 3 out of the 2020, of course, that's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we're taking a look at... That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today we're looking forward to match number 3 out in the old Tokyo Games, out in the Olympics, boys and girls, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button and get your bang up to date with all things Olympics related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We got it all here, boys, under Wild Brewski. That's right, of course, Germany bounced back ability, of course, as did the likes of Spain and Argentina, to get themselves back on track, of course, for the knockout stages out in Tokyo. And we'll talk about that in a minute. If you're, of course, new, check out the links down below, of course, and a big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. Thank you for your tremendous support. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end now and talk about that, and of course, to look forward to match number 3, and of course, bring us back out today with, of course, the prediction league right here out in Tokyo. Not here, but over there. Here we go then, shall we? Of course, take a look back at match number 2, the results, my picks. And I think I did pretty well for myself this time around. In fact, I did pretty poo. Actually, I was just got mixed up with the Gold Cup because the games just keep on coming. So here we go, recap of some of those games. Kicking all off with France up against South Africa. 2-0 win was my pick. It's actually a 7-goal thriller, wasn't it? 4-3 going in favour of France in the end. Goals coming from South Africa, Kumbalo Kasandereng, Evidence Makoba, and Mokwena, of course. As for the goals for France, Andre Pierre Guiguenet got a couple of goals there. He actually got a hat-trick, and Teji Sabienia to make it 4-3 in the end for France. Second qualifier, of course, same group as Japan up against Mexico. Ended up being 1-1 in my eyes. Final score was, it was a cheeky 2-1 win in the favour of Japan. Of course, that's over in Group A. Goals coming from Takafusa Kubo and Ritsu Doan, of course, legend there. Roberto Avareado got himself a goal, with Johan Vasquez got himself sent off. Into Group B, of course, New Zealand opened up their account with a win, but of course they suffered a defeat here at the hands of Honduras. That's right. Libertado Kake getting a goal for New Zealand. Chris Wood, of course, the six finger free from Burnley. He also got his second goal of the campaign. Luis Palma, Juan Abrion, and Roberto Rivas getting goals for for Honduras to get themselves right back in the thick of things. Meanwhile, what did I win on that one? I went with the 2-0 win in favour of New Zealand, but of course it was 5-goal thriller. Goodness gracious me, going in favour of Honduras. And of course the same Group B. Saw Romania, they lost heavily, 4-0 loss. Goodness gracious me. South Korea running away with it at the moment out in Group B. Marias Marian with a big fat OG, Won Sang Uom, Lee Kangin with a couple of goals as well. Juan Georgi got himself sent off for Romania, which made matters worse. I went with the 1-0 there, and as you can see, I did okay. I got myself a couple pickaroos on that one, 2 right, 2 wrong. But anyway, they all count in the end. It's the back end of the bracket now. Of course, Egypt with the opening day draw against Spain. Actually went with them. I started to think, you know what, there might be something in this. But I was wrong. Of course, Argentina coming up with the win, 1-0 over in Group C. Fancango and Mendina on the goal scoring sheet for Argentina. Meanwhile, Spain also got back on track. Of course, put a bit of dent in Australia's dreams. They took care of business in the end. There we go. I went with a 3-1 win for Spain, but it was actually just the 1-0, I think. That's right. Of course, Spain's goal coming from Oyalabal. Of course, was at the Euros. I think he scored at the Euros as well. So he scored here and in the Euros as they came back to win that 1-0 when they went over in Group C. Into Group D, of course, all eyes on this. Of course, Brazil and Ivory Coast managed to duke it out to a 0-0 draw. Wow, wow, wee wow. As for Germany, though, they made a bit of hard work for themselves. 3-2 in the end, coming back. A bit of an end-to-end sort of game on this one. Goals coming from Saudi Arabia. Sami Al-Naji got a couple of goals there. Nadim Amiri got a goal for Germany. Rage Ake as well, with Felix Uduaki also getting the goals for Germany, with Amos Piper got himself sent off for Germany in the end. 3-2 in the end. So that puts them in the mix as well as bring ourselves bang up to date with the groups there. Of course, as you can see, got 2 out of 4 on that one. So Japan lead the charge, and I think they're already through, are they? They might mathematically. Who do they take on? We'll talk about who they take on in a second. second, but I want to just make sure to see if they're through or not. So Japan against France. So not necessarily through, because they could lose that to France, and Mexico could beat South Africa, so they're not through yet, but they're close. South Korea also not there either. Of course, this one is very, very tight over in Group B. Everyone's got 3 points heading into match number 3. Of course, all on the line on this one, so it can go anyone's ways on this one. As for into Group C, we got Spain. They're close, of course, with 4 points. Australia and Argentina will duke it out in a double header to try and get themselves through. A win for Egypt over Spain, I think, could turn it on its head, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then finally, they're Brazil, Ivory Coast, and Germany all locked horns. So nobody's actually qualified after match number 2. So we're going to match number 3 with everything on the line, which is great. And that's how it, I think, should be. Let's take a look at your then picks, then, shall we? Of course, for this week and this week alone. Of course, here we go. This is Uman Hussein leads the charge with 5, so one better than me. I got 4. Elgin Cowles also got 5. Omar Escobar, the Mexican Slam's got 5. Handmaid's Tale's up over 5. Winky's up over 5. Oh, Always Right's up there with 5. And Deep Back the Great also got 5. And then the Chasing Pack as well with 4. We're also done to the overall leaderboard for match number 2. We have LG and Omar Escobar, the Mexican Sniper, leading the charge at the moment. Hans Wurst, not too far away either. Tom Stainer, Max Sangardi, Yannick Bustler, Nanakam, Deep Back the Great, Uman Hussein, and Winky also in the mix. It's getting tight, of course. A lot of points still on the offering, so make sure you get in there for match number 3. Of course, this is a prime example of what I'm trying to avoid heading into the domestic seasons. See, James agree, he would have 6, and I will correct it next time. I just missed this one, but when we go into the domestic seasons, I'm not going to go back and fix it. So remember your name. That's if you can just remember anything. And I'm not just talking to James, I'm talking about everybody. Remember your name. Don't add an extra space. Don't take a little space, but don't add a capital. Don't take a capital. Whatever you write, that's going to be your name for the season. If you could change it up 6 times over the season, I'm not going to be there patching it up. You're going to have to just take the bullet and go, you know what, sorry, I made a mistake, and I'm going to have to suffer that week's loss. So whenever you enter on weekday number 1, make sure you stick to it. Copy, paste it, put it somewhere, put it in a Word document or a text document, and then paste it in there. Just because otherwise, you're going to get me spending 18 hours on one video, and I cannot afford that time. If we want to get the Dutch League in, I'm trying to get the Dutch League in here. These little mistakes will add to the times. Anyway, enough moaning. Let's get into the deep end, shall we? It is, of course, match number 3. Get your predictions in. Of course, this is the URL, cut.ly/Tokyo 3A. And of course, if you're lazy like me, get the QR code, and that'll send you right to the spot where you can put your predictions in for free. And of course, hopefully this week, I've been meaning to say it all bloody summer. I'll hopefully bring up like a recap of the last season's prediction, because it's just something I've not been looking forward to doing because it's a pain. But hopefully this season will be much, much easier than that. And also good for Japan, of course, they are probably the nation that's closest to those knockout stages. A draw or more will get them through, of course, to the knockout stages. As for France, they, of course, need the win, and that'll be a big upset to try and defeat the hosts on this one. Defeat could possibly see them go through. I'm looking at it right now. Ultimately, I think they'll need a point, if anything, to at least give themselves hope. But up against the Japanese, who I think fancy the chances on their home soil, of course, to get themselves not only through to the knockout stage, but to go through as group winners. So this was going to be very, very tight on this one. I am actually going to probably back the Japanese on this one. Quick look at the bookies odds on this, though. 2-1 is your France, 10 is your Japan for the win. Of course, 12-5 is your draw. The odds for the bling, that is gold medal. Japan are 8-1 for the victory, of course. France all the way down into 16-1. So they are pretty strong favourites to go through to the knockout stages, but still they've got a sidestep Mexico, who are actually 4th favourites for the gold at the moment. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one, which might be enough. It will be enough for Japan, though, of course, but France will play the waiting game and see what happens, of course, in this match, which is, of course, South Africa up against Mexico. So far, so good, though, for Mexico, with 3 points out of a possible 6. South Africa, though, on the cusp of going out. They need a win, a strong win, and hope Japan beat, of course, France as well, quite heavily. So they'll need to turn the goal difference around. Of course, they're on -2 compared to Mexico's +2. So they'll need to at least beat them 2-0, maybe even more than that, to go through to the knockout stage. Of course, the runner-up of Group Group A, will take on the winner of Group A, I believe. That's right, of course, which will take place over in Yokohama on the 31st of July. So it's just around the corner to find out about this one. Quick look at the bookies odds on this one, then, shall we? What do we have on this? We have South Africa coming at you at 50-2 for the victory, 5-2 on Asia. Mexico, and 10-3 is yours. So Mexico are red-hot favourites. Of course, the odds for the bling is, of course, Mexico are 11-1 to be gold medalists. South Africa are 501, absolute long shots, but of course they've got nothing on the plate so far. 2-0 loss for me. Mexico take 3 points again. That will probably knock France out and put Mexico and Japan through to the knockout stages. Into Group C now, we have Romania up against New Zealand. Of course, so far, very level pegging over in this group. Of course, if you look at the state of play in the group, if it was to end as it is right here, right now, Honduras and South Korea will go through, and New Zealand and Romania go out. Romania have coming in, they've actually picked up a win. Despite their -3 goal difference, they have to do something special to get through to the knockout stages. They, of course, need to beat New Zealand for 1. And then hope South Korea can do some damage to Honduras. It is very tight, this one. I don't know which way it's going to go on this. What about the bookies? What do they think on this one? They've got, what have they got on this one? Romania, 21-20. The your favourites, 5-2 is your New Zealand, and 12-5 is your draw on this one. The odds for the bling on this one, we have Romania 100-1 and New Zealand 150-1. So they were both outsiders for the bling. I'm going to go with New Zealand on this one. Chris Wood's been scoring goals. The Honduras game was close. 3-2 narrow loss there, but of course they are scoring goals, which is massive. I think they'll get the better of Romania in the end. So 2-0 there for them. Of course, we shall put them through. Romania will crash out. Who will join them? Of course, South Korea started off okay as well with an opening day win. However, they of course suffered a defeat as well against Romania. But of course, they have that mega strong goal difference, +3 at the moment. So a draw or more will probably see South Korea go through. So we'll see about that. Of course, taking on Honduras, of course, a draw would not necessarily see Honduras through, because of a win for New Zealand would see them go top the group and of course push South Korea down because of that +3 goal difference on this one. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on this? We have New Zealand. No, we don't. We have South Korea 13-8 on the other favourites. 92 is your waving that is Honduras, and 14-5 is your draw. Of course, South Korea coming at you at 7th favourite, 8 favourites, 60-1 for the bling. Honduras are 100-1 to go all the way to the gold medal at Tokyo. 2-1 win for me. South Korea go through, join New Zealand, and of course Honduras go out. Back into the bracket, or back into the groups then, shall we? It is a big one, and I was thinking about doing a watch on for this. I don't know if I can because my time is all over the place this week. Of course, Spain up against Argentina. Spain unbeaten so far after that opening day draw against Egypt. They bounced back with a win against Australia, just a narrow 1-0 win. As for Argentina, they've also got themselves a win as well after beating Egypt last time around. Of course, this is of course a winner takes all. A winner for either of these two sides will probably top the group. Of course, however, you don't rule out Australia on this one. It is very tight. Could go either way. Of course, Spain have got the big boys, a lot of first team players from the actual national team. As for Argentina, they've got a couple of little faces that we might be familiar, but otherwise than that, they are of course a bit of an unknown quantity. 11-10 on is your Spain for the victory. 5-2 is your draw. 3-1 is your Argentina. Actually, in the odds for the bling, Spain are actually second favourites now behind Brazil. 2-1. Argentina all the way down at 16-1 to go the way. I'm going to go with Spain on this one. It might end up being a draw. If it was a draw, it'll put Argentina on 4 points, it'll put Spain on 4 points, and it would not necessarily put either of the two sides. Well, it would put Spain through. A draw would put Spain through, but a draw could open up the door for Australia not only to qualify but also to win the group outright. So here we go. Let's take a look at Australia taking on Egypt. Of course, it's not so great for Egypt. Of course, they picked up an opening day draw against Spain, which of course flattered everybody. As for Australia, of course, they're still in the mix to go the distance on this one. 11-8 is your Australia on this one. 50-8 is your Egypt. Of course, 12-5 is your draw. Australia all the way down in around about 100-1 for the gold, and Egypt are 200-1 at the moment. Of course, like I said, a win or will guarantee top spot, I think. Well, not guaranteed top spot, but of course, would it guarantee top spot? No, it would not put it. But a draw or more will probably put them through. Yes, favours Australia at the moment. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for them, for the Socceroos to go through, and of course join Spain probably into the knockout stages, into the final group. Now we go Group D. Anybody's guess on this one. Probably Saudi Arabia have got it all to do though. Of course, coming at you with no points on the board. As for Brazil, they come into this with 4 points on the board with an unbeaten start so far, beating Germany. Also drawing with Ivory Coast last time around. Of course, bookies odds on this one, of course, should be red hot favourites. 12-1 is your Saudi Arabia, 11-2 on is your Brazil, and 5-1 is your draw. Brazil coming at you red hot favourites for the title, 15-8, and Saudi Arabia are already eliminated. They cannot go through, and of course, their competition is pretty much already over. So I do anticipate another win for Brazil, 2-0 win, and of course, that'll put them through as group winners. And joining them, who will join them? Germany, or will it be Ivory Coast? Ivory Coast coming at you with 4 points, Germany coming at you with 3 points. Of course, after that opening day loss to Brazil. Of course, they did beat Saudi Arabia, only just, and they come out here with a -1 goal. If it's a draw, will not be enough for Germany. Draw will see Ivory coast through. I'm not, I am German 100%. I would love to see Germany go through, but you know what? If we lose to, or concede to the team of Ivory Coast, then fair enough. You know what? I like Ivory Coast, of course, traditional African nation. I'd like to see them do very, very well, especially with the team that they have at the moment. But the odds for this one will probably favour Germany on this. Even Steams for the victory, 25 is Ivory Coast and 5-2 is draw. If you're a betting man, I would put a bit of money on Ivory Coast to take this one. As for the gold, Germany coming out your 5th favourites, 12-1. Ivory Coast coming out your 50-1. So again, I'm not saying they're going to go the distance, but if they're going to get through here, Ivory Coast could be an awkward team to play against. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, narrow win for Germany to go through, because I've got to go with my heart on this one. And again, if you are new, make sure you smash the old subscribe, smash the old thumbs up, and of course hit the little bell as well. And also, if you want to do the prediction league, get involved. You can still join in for a bit of fun anyway. There's still a whole lot of points on the offering. If you were to get unbeaten from here on in, then you could probably still win the thing. That's my thoughts. Give me your thoughts and of course predictions down below in the comment section. I look forward to seeing you in of course the knockout stages, aka the quarterfinals. Who's going in? Who's going to go through? We'll take a look at that of course in another video. But until then, I'll see you soon for the next one. Smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Until then, we are done.